Right, okay, let's get started. In the previous video, I installed Android command line tools for development in to demonstrate how you can install the tools to develop in Android without Android Studio. I did that on the VM, which is this one here. Unfortunately, I had a problem when it come to the emulator, which will not run. There's no way around that really. If you're using a Silicon Mac and running a virtual machine, VMs on Silicon Mac aren't where they need to be at the moment, unfortunately. I tried Linux as well, and that was a similar problem. I do have an old MacBook 2014 with Debian on, which I want to try at some point, but that will not be today. So what we're going to do is we're going to fire this up first. We'll fire up the VM, and then what we'll do is we'll build everything on there, and then just switch it over onto this host machine, and then run it from there. So this will demonstrate the portability of the build, but we'll also build the emulator as well and copy that across. So okay, so first thing, let's get started. Oops. So we'll do the emulator first. So list AVD. So we haven't got one, and just to prove, it's the same on here. AVD manager, list AVD. We haven't got anything installed there. There's also no Android Studio on this home machine, or shouldn't be. No, I've uninstalled it. Right, so I always forget to do this. AVD manager, create AVD, name, call it foo, device, make it a pixel 8, and this is the bit I can never get. Package. The package name I have to get from here because I can never remember it, and I'm probably going to have to type it out because you can't copy and paste with VMs, the Mac ones, unfortunately. So that is system images Android 34 Google APIs. Not sure if they're needed actually. RM64 V8A, and that will create that. And now we can copy that across. So that will create that in here. SDK Android. Should be an AVD folder, and there is. So I'm going to move that to the shared folder so we can pick it up. Oops. Let's just copy it then. So there, AVD. So let's copy our AVD. Let's copy it to the shared AVD. Right. So that should appear here now. If I go to downloads. And it does. Right, cool. So we'll move that to our AVD folder. So if I go to, oops, I'm in the thing on local share Android SDK, and then it is Android, and then we've got, there should be nothing in there. We can delete that AVD, and let's move that one, downloads, AVD, and we'll move it there. AVD. Cool, right. Oh, I think, what's happened there? That doesn't look right. Seems we've got it in there. So what's actually inside? Looks like I've copied it inside as well. Okay, I don't know how I managed to do that. So we want to do delete AVD wasn't it? If I do AVD there. Right, okay, I'm not sure what happened there. Oops. Right, okay, so we've got our VM. So now actually if I do AVD manager list AVD, that should pick it up, and it does. And not only that, we can actually start it. So let's do that. So create another thing just out of the way here. Let's create that. And it fires up as expected. Right. Now we want to. We're in the roots. Right. Okay. So now we need a project. I've got a Hello World one. Git clone GPS github.com Android. Oh no, it is. I think it's Hello Android. And it is. And what we want to do is go into that. And now we can do a Gradle build, and then we'll just copy this across and then run it on that emulator on the host machine. I could do all this on the host machine, but it was really just to carry on from, I was showing a sort of clean install of the tools, and I wanted to do it on this machine. So that might take a minute to build. In fact, while it's doing that, there's another project as well, which we'll get to. So git clone HTTPS github.com Matthew was it Turbo Android starter? This one's got this is a bit less of a a bit less of a hello world. Okay, that's done anyway. Let's clone. Turbo Android, or is it Android Turbo? We'll have to look it up. Can't remember. Right, we'll get to that. Back to that. Okay, so we've got our project here, and that's built. Oops. So now we need to copy that across to our host machine. So we'll do copy again. Our hello. And we'll stick that in the shared hello Android. Just check there's nothing in there at the moment. Downloads. Nope, just Android Studio. Install pack, which we will get to. Okay, so that should appear there now, and I'm going to move that to our demo folder. Demo, hello, Android. Hold up. So my head's going a bit here now. Move hello Android, of course, to brain fart. Demo hello Android. Okay, so now we are going to back to that folder. Now this should just work. I think that's me, isn't it, doing the command wrong. Hello Android. No, it isn't. It's right. Okay, cool. We're in the right one now. Okay, cool. So this has been built on this virtual machine. So technically, we can just run it. And to do that, first we need to install it, which I'll get my command for installation. Right one, which is this one here, and that will install it on this device. Oops, now if I get this here, and let's make this a bit smaller, and this should just run. This is the command. If I go through it, you'll see we call the main activity, and so now press enter, and there we are, it works. Cool. And that was one that we built on another machine, and we can actually, if I go in here and have a look, because I've actually got proper Vim installation on here with tree sitter and everything, so it is pretty simple. It just calls a main activity, which goes to this here. Now I'm not going to go through this, but it's a bit slow actually, but I have actually got Kotlin installed on here, and after a few minutes it does come up, but it's painfully slow. There, see, and we do actually get the high code completion and everything that goes with it. So there was the motivation really, because it's just a hell of a lot easier, I find, working on this rather than Android Studio. So for example, so we can just do a quick change. So if I do here, and we can just, let's get out of there. Oops, I did say that, didn't I? Yep. And then we can do a Gradle build again. It should be a lot quicker this time. Again, this was the project that we created on the other machine. And I'm going to have to run these again. One, if it not take too long. Cool. So that works, and then the next one, and we should see that change now. And oop, what have I done wrong? Hold on. I thought I saw something not quite right. Hold on. Gradle. Oops. Gradle. Build. Yep. Install. Build. Output. Right. I think it might be to do with the fact that it was built on another machine. Okay. Well, that's good. Let me. Yes, I thought I saw something go and I ignored it. Not a problem. What we'll do, we can get rid of this. This is quite good. I'm going to apps, and we'll just uninstall it. And if we go back again, so we've done Gradle build, built it, haven't we? So it ran the first time, but when I did any subsequent changes, then we got a problem. But that's okay. We just need to uninstall it. So which we've done, and then this should work, and it does. Cool. Right, I'm just going to try that one more time, because I think we shouldn't have that problem. We shouldn't need to uninstall it. It should just install it over. It's not there, was it? It was the so we'll go back to one exclamation mark again. Gradle build. Oops. And that's what I want. And yep. Cool. So so the feedback loop should be a lot quicker than doing it with Android Studio. Okay. Now one other thing I want to show, because there's no Android Studio on here, but it is something you might want to use. It's only really sort of debugging. Now I can get debugging working with NeoVim, although I haven't tried with Kotlin yet. But I can see, I could certainly envisage a case where I'd need to use Android Studio. So we're going to install that, but one of the things, Android Studio can sort of play a bit funny with your or system. I found it has. This is why I prefer to do everything as a sort of clean install, as I demonstrated before, and then install Android Studio afterwards. So let's go to our downloads folder, and we've got an Android Studio which I've already downloaded here, and if we just open that, nothing happens. I might have to go. Don't know why that isn't. No, it's not doing anything. Okay, just click on here. Okay, so let's go into there, and we're installing Android Studio. Right, so that should be on our system now. Oops. Android Studio. Now I've got what I want to do is use the same tools. This is one of the problems I've had, is trying to get a sort of command line Android development and the tools working with the Studio, and I found it a bit tricky. So let's go with custom, and we don't want that, so we want our SDK location is right. Well, I installed it with SDK man, so it's going to be there, I think. Or is it? No, the Java one. I think that's right. Yes, it is. Point to existing JDK installation. I don't think it matters too much anyway, because we can do it per project. So it's just right. I shouldn't need to download all these, but I don't know. I'll just let it. Android license. Okay, so we accept and finish. Right. I suspect it's going to install that in a base in the root, which I don't want, but it's not a problem. Android, yeah, it's created a but that's fine. We won't use that. I know how to change it on the projects. If we wait for this for a few minutes. Right, while we're doing that, let's wait and see if I can get back to that other, what was it, Turbo Native Dem. That's it, I'll change the name now. Right. Is it Turbo Native Demo? Oops. Turbo Native Demo? No. Right, let me, might have to look this up. G8 repo clone native list. Turbo Android Starter. I couldn't remember the name. Right. Okay. Nearly. Turbo Android. Yeah, because. Right. So let's get that. Oops. Git clone Turbo. Alright, okay. I wonder if it's a private one. GH repo list. Can't see for that. Turbo J. Oh right, no, that's a different one. No, it's public. Turbo Android Starter. What did I put? Turbo. Oh, I haven't put the HTTPS on. Wally. Okay. GitHub.com. In fact, I haven't got any of them. I was right. Well, anyone watching this is probably screaming at the video, but all I'll say is that I've watched videos and I've been screaming when people have forgot things like that, so I'm not completely stupid. Right, and although I'll say I'm not completely stupid, but I've put it in the wrong folder, haven't I? Yes, I have. Right, not a problem, we can just move it up one. Move turbo up, and let's go into there. We'll come back to that. Right, let's go check our Android Studio is finished, and it has. Okay, so what I want to do is demonstrate this project here that I opened and that we've got running on our simulator. We want to do that also on Android Studio. Now, there's a bit of an issue doing that. You're going to have to do something. Have to run through a command. Now I don't know why. If I go into this project here, and I go in this Gradle folder, there's nothing in it really. It's just a list of libraries. What Gradle does do is it'll create like a wrapper, and the idea is then it will download it. It's really, if you're working in a Teams, really. I don't find the need for it because I'm sort of working by myself on these. And it's supposed to sort of download a version of Gradle that's used throughout the project. Anyone else is using it. Now, for some reason, if I open a project in Android Studio, let's go on here, and let's go in and open that one. We're going to end up with some problems. It's not going to be able to build properly. And that is because if I go in the settings, it doesn't seem to recognize the global ones. Yeah, it's looking for a wrapper, but the problem is if I change that to a local installation, it still doesn't use it. So I can go through here, and if we go to so our local Gradle is SDKman, Java, Gradle, that's what we want. Oops. So we want this one. We can actually change that to current. But I can't get this to work anyway. So we point to a current one of that. Now this should just build because we're using the same build tools that we're using for the command line, but you end up with this. It just doesn't work basically. So I'm going to do build, make projects. So let's close that, and we have to do a little bit of work. I wonder if it's created any. No, it hasn't. Right, it isn't very much. All we've got to do is create a Gradle project, and there's just one folder that we need from it. So what we'll do is call it anything, doesn't matter. In fact, let's go to the demo. Doing there, demo. We've got our Android in here. Yep. So I'm going to go make directory. Can call it anything, doesn't matter. Foo. And then we will do Gradle init. Application we do need Kotlin 21. I don't think these matter too much for what we're taking from it actually. As I say, it's just one folder with 2 files in it that we're going to need. Okay, and those are in, oops, it's the wrapper, and if I go through that, it's these 2 files, the ones that we need. So what we will do is go back to our hello project, and we'll copy that. So we go copy using foo. In fact, actually, I'm going to the Gradle folder itself and copy our, oops, it's going to be another one, isn't it? Foo, Gradle, and wrapper, and we'll put that there. And that's right. Now this should work now. I say should. A few things haven't, but I'm pretty. I've done this a few times, so let's try it now. It's building anyway. Well, it's building. And then what we can do, that should pick up our emulator. No idea what that one is. Probably created one. Let me see if, because it did create a default Android project in folder in the root, which I don't want. So yeah, okay. So it's correct. I didn't know it created one. I don't remember doing that. So I'm just going to delete that. You can just, I mean, this is useful to know actually from playing around with this. That can just go. You don't need it. That won't work now, but it shouldn't pick it up now. So if we go to device manager, yeah, it's gone. So we can use the one that's our main one, which is local share Android SDK.Android. I don't know why I've tried everything to get that to just get work there, but yeah, more hassle than it's worth. I'll maybe revisit. I know there's an AVD manager environment variable that you can set, but I just had it. Yeah, anyway, this is working. So okay, so let's pick that up, and what we can do now, so again, remember this was initially built on the other machine. We can debug it using Android Studio, so I should just be able to run that, and that should just appear on our device with a bit of luck, and it does. So it's waiting there, and so let's return, carry that. There we are, we're good to go. And let's just make a change just to prove. Oops, where are we? And let's change it to do something different. Hello world. So that's every project that you need, and prove that we've got that working here. So we can change that here or on the command line, and both work, and they're both in sync. And finally, well, probably not so necessary this one really, I've kind of showed everything, but just to show something a little bit more exciting, which I'm into. Okay, so I'm going to do a Gradle build on this one. Now this is a project that's got Turbo native installed, and is running everything. So just to show really that you can do everything on the command line now. This might take a little bit longer because it's a bigger project, but I don't think it'll be too long. Okay, in fact, we are almost done. I don't know how long this video is going now. It wasn't supposed to be too long. Right, so let's back up and let's copy that to the shared folder so that we can run it on our host machine. Oops, shared Turbo Android starter. So let's go on there. Right, and now, oops. There's a couple of commands. I need this one. in our downloads, wasn't it? Maybe that's a demo. No, I'll move it. Keep getting that wrong. And turbo. We'll just do it from here. It doesn't matter. It's the last thing we're going to do anyway. Turbo Android starter. Right. So now we just need to install that on our device, which is this command here, and then run it. Which we can do from here with our next command. And there we go. We've got the Turbo native demonstration project running, and it works just as you'd expect. So that is it. That's a sort of whistle top of doing setting up development using the command line tools with a quick demo, and also interacting with Android Studio. Okay, thank you.